where the euro closes this month could actually determine the rest of 2025, and I'll have all the details in today's video. So we're doing things a little bit different today, guys, starting here with the 3-month time frame. So every candle on this chart represents 3 months worth of price action, so also called the quarterly time frame. And what you'll notice is that if we zoom out here, going all the way back to the 1980s, you can see where the EURUSD has been trading or was trading within this channel. It broke below it back here in 2022. And so far this month in this quarter, it is reclaiming this level. Now, just to clarify, guys, the reason why this chart goes back to the 80s and 90s, because the euro actually started back here in 1999. Okay, so back here is when the euro actually started. The way that we get all this data back here is FXCM uses a pre-euro basket of currencies. So what's fascinating about that is that even though all of this back here in the 80s and 90s, even though all of this was pre-euro, okay, what's fascinating is that you still get this very clean ascending channel back here that the euro broke out of back here in 2022, spent, several years below this area. And so far this month, it could be reclaiming the bottom of this channel. So this right here, what we're seeing so far, this right here could be incredibly significant as we head into the end of June. Now, obviously, we do still have a few days left in the month, so this is not confirmed just yet. But as of right now, given the look of the DXY, given the look of the euro, it does kind of look like we could get this reclaim here from the EURUSD. And if this happens, guys, this could actually dictate the rest of 2025. Because if you get a market breaking down below a pattern like this, like we had back here, okay, and then you get a reclaiming it on a high time frame, which, there's no doubt that the quarterly time frame is a high time frame. If we get the euro closing back above here, then this level flips back to new support. And in most cases, you will get an extended move in the opposite direction. Okay, now the one thing though, and I mentioned this earlier, but this month is not yet over. Okay, so we can't call this confirmed just yet, because if you look at this on the monthly, all right, what's going to be key here for the euro? And this right here, guys, this, if you'll remember, we talked about this level actually a couple of years ago. And this is what allows us to get bearish here because the euro was testing this as new resistance following the breakdown back here in 2022. All right, so really clean level through here. But what's going to be key for the euro as we head into the end of the month is going to be to close above this area around 115 or so. Okay, and it's almost right on the mark at 115. Now, you might be looking at this on the daily and thinking, well, there's no way that we're not going to close below 115 just because look where we are right now. And there's only really 2 trading days left, excluding Thursday. So you've got basically Friday and Monday for the euro to close above this area. However, don't be fooled by these markets because we know how quickly things can change, right? And I'm not saying that it will, but all I'm saying is with 2 days left, this could potentially still close below here. Now, again, I'm not saying that it will. I'm not saying that it's not going to. I'm just saying that you have to be prepared for either scenario just in case. All right, but let's talk about the bullish scenario here first. If we get the euro closing above 115 this month and also the quarter, because keep in mind that this is also the quarterly close. If we get that, then it becomes pretty clear here for the EURUSD where this market is probably headed. And you can look back here at this pivot through here. So we've got the lows through this area back here, all of these lows through here. And then you've got these highs. Okay, so right around 123.60, this would be the area that I'd be targeting first if we do get the close above 115 this month. Okay, so pretty clear there. Again, this would be a failed breakdown. Even though obviously the market spent years below here, it would still technically be a failed breakdown. And again, you do tend to get an extended move in the opposite direction if this does confirm. Okay, so areas like this could come into play as we head into the rest of the year. As for key support, okay, you've got this area around, you guessed it, 115, right? So this would become the support area that I would be watching. And you can see we're looking at the weekly time frame. You've got this high back here. You've got these closing prices through this area. So it's kind of hard to tell. If we were to get a close above here, it's hard to know if we get a full pullback all the way toward this level before we get the rally. But essentially what I'd be looking for is this pocket down here, okay? This pocket down here, really between 115 and 116. I think that's going to be the area to watch as we head into July if this month closes above, okay? That's going to be critical, guys. You have to see this month close above 115. And again, we still do have 2 trading days left. All right, so close above here, this flips to new support, and we could get a pretty significant continuation of this rally through the rest of the year. If it closes below this area around 115, then this stays intact as resistance. All right, so incredibly significant moment coming up for the EURUSD here over the coming days. And let's move on now and talk about the DXY, because this is just as significant, obviously not a level that goes back decades, or at least not several decades, but you've got this market falling below this channel support down here from 2011. So we've also talked about this here over the past few weeks, where you had the market coming into this area around 97.7, and so far it is breaking down from this. Okay, so all year long, the DXY has looked weak. It tried to get above this trend line back here on this candle, obviously failed, and now we're below 97.7. Okay, so for the DXY, if we close this month below areas like 97.7, then this up here is going to flip to new resistance. Okay, so new resistance up here for the DXY. And again, for the euro, we're looking at this area up here around 115 if the market does close above this. Okay, now obviously, if we were to get the DXY closing back above here on the high time frames, then you've got a case where this becomes a failed breakdown, and that could be bullish for the US dollar. Okay, so this is one of those cases where I think when you're coming up on the end of the month and also the end of the quarter, this is a good time, if you're not in a trade, to stand aside and see what we get here going into the monthly close. Given these lows back here, guys, I will say, even if this month closes above 115, I would like to see some type of pullback into July, simply because you've got all these lows back here, right? And this is going to be resistance. This pocket through here is going to be resistance for the euro. So I think you'd have to be careful trying to buy this into this pocket back here. I would prefer, if we get the close above 115, to look for a pullback down here into new support before we get that continuation through the rest of the year. All right, so we'll see where these markets close, guys. I will say this too, be really careful over the next few trading days because of how significant this area is here for the EURUSD. The same thing with the DXY, right? Be really careful with this, because what you tend to get going into the end of the month is you get very erratic price action, typically on the final 1 to 2 trading days. And given where the euro is trading right now, you know, at the bottom of this channel, looking to reclaim this, right? I think that this could be a pretty erratic end to June. Okay, so we could get a lot of, volatility back here in this area. So just be really careful with this as we head into the end of June. But again, reclaim 115, guys. I think we're looking at a continuation of this rally through the rest of the year, given the fact that the market would be reclaiming the bottom of this channel, and also the DXY would be falling below that 97.7 level, which, as we've discussed in the past few videos, we know that this is an incredibly significant level here for the DXY as well. All right, so that's what I'm watching here, guys, as we head into the June close. Again, a couple of trading days left before we finally decide if the euro is going to reclaim this level here at 115 or if it's going to stay intact as resistance. Obviously, right now, it does look like it's going to reclaim that level, but do be careful out there because we could see some really erratic price action over the next couple of days. Be sure to keep it locked in here, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and also join us in VIP. Claim your 85% off lifetime access. See the link in the description below. Trade well. I will talk to you again tomorrow.